Hey kids, welcome back. It's Alpha Bob, with Alpha Joe still trying to make 5 billion ISK in one trip to null. We are going to start skipping ahead to show just the best parts. This will mostly be hacking high-value relic sites. If you are new to hacking or just a little rusty, I would suggest watching my video series on hacking tips. The first video will be on the rule of 6, which is one of the most important tips to prevent you from failing your hacks. And then keep watching these Alpha Joe videos, as there will be many hacks to follow along with. I will try to explain my tips during some of these hacks. Let's now skip ahead to the first set of hacks. This first relic site has 3 containers worth a total of 15 million ISK. Just okay, but it's a start. This first hack has lots of safe spots with the rule of 6. We will favor these spots as we search for tools and the core. One hack down. See how this hack starts in the middle. This is the exception to the rule of 8. Normally, the start is in a corner, and the core is at least 8 spots away. But in this case, the core can be anywhere. This actually makes the hack a little bit harder. Alpha Joe does a good job, but he fails the hack. Luckily, you get 2 chances to complete a hack. Using a good technique, he completes this hack. This hack is pretty simple. Avoid this block. Another block we need to clear. Success.
Warp drive active.
Only 2 good containers here, for 14 million ISK. This first hack is a good example of when you cannot win. Some hacks are just stacked against you. But notice there is a new cosmic signature. The good thing about these storms, when new signatures appear, they are almost always relic sites. The second attempt goes much better. Bingo! Not too hard. Success.
Warp drive active.
Finally, a good site. One container worth 42 million ISK. Don't screw this up, Joe. He goes very slowly, picking all the right nodes. Break through this node. We are strong at this point. Work our way down. We must break this node. This will hurt. We search for a tool. This works. Carefully choosing nodes, we found the core. Success, 42 million ISK well earned. This is worth a rewatch. A beginner would most likely fail this hack.
Warp drive active.
On to the next site. This relic site is only worth 10 million ISK in 3 containers. Notice, a new relic site pops up.
Warp drive active.
This site is only worth 7 million ISK, but it's a good example of the rule of 6. On this first hack, there are lots of safe spots that are the rule of 6. And we easily find the core. A player has entered the system, so we plan our next destination. On this hack, we work our way to the opposite corner. We hit a virus in the rule of 6. We know the core is now 1 spot away. Found it.
Warp drive active.
In the new system, we see another
Warp
player.
drive active.
We will scan and proceed with caution.
Warp drive active.
We see the other player is flying an Astero and is scanning too. Before flying to the relic site, Alpha Joe sets the D-scan angle to 15 degrees. Then holding the scan button and clicking the relic site, we can see this site is clear.
Warp drive active.
As Joe flies to the site, he drops a perch bookmark. Arriving at the first relic site, we see it has been cherry-picked.
Warp drive active.
This perch is far enough away to be safe, but still close enough to see the site. From here, you can warp to any of the containers. Of course, Alpha Joe doesn't have his D-scan set correctly. The scan angle is still at 15 degrees. We see the Astero fly to this site. Since he has already done this site, we can assume he is here to catch and kill us.
Warp drive active.
We fly directly to the next relic site, which is not a good move. He can watch the direction our ship goes and see which site we are flying to. The better move would have been to fly back to our bookmark before flying to the other relic site. When another player is in the system, you should always assume they have all the sites scanned down. But Alpha Joe says screw that and starts his hack. Since the Estero is still showing on D-scan, it's not a bad technique to lower the scan range until it doesn't show up. That way, if the ship starts to warp towards you, the D-scan will show them coming. Wow, 58 million ISK in this container. Let's do it first. A new signature just popped up. With this hack completed, I would start scanning that new site. With no probes on D-scan, that site would be safer to run. But I'm not Joe, I'm Bob, and he's decided to hack more here. Good luck to you, Joe. Don't die. Wait, Joe is actually doing something right. He's flying in a straight line while scanning down the new signature. And look at this, he's checking with the D-scan to see that Estero is already hacking that new site. This is the time to scan a different site. But now watch Alpha Joe do several stupid things. The Estero is still there. Is the Estero doing that other site, or does he want to kill Alpha Joe? He's come to kill Joe. We are far enough away to be safe. But you can see that Joe starts to panic and flies directly to the other site, mistake number 1. We know this guy already has this site bookmarked. We can be sure he will follow our ship. Joe creates a perch, but doesn't warp immediately to it. He flies towards the containers, mistake number 2. Here he is. Luckily he didn't warp close enough to Joe to warp disrupt his ship.
Warp drive active.
Safe at the perch, Joe's ship is still on grid with the Estero. Warping directly to another site is mistake number 3.
Warp drive active.
Okay, now we wait to see if Joe will die. And a new player arrives in local. Finally,
Warp
Joe
drive
warps to his safe
active.
bookmark. This is the time I would just log out. It's getting too hot. Okay, the first player left the system, and this guy is flying an Imicus.
Warp drive active.
Alpha Joe is pushing his luck with this last sight.
Warp drive active.
$26 million ISK, maybe one last hack. Notice all the rule of 6 spots, which you should click on first. Joe tries his best, but gives up this first attempt. Notice the other guy is back. Could be danger. When you are deep into a hack, is when you might not notice a hunter landing on grid. Joe should really lower his D-scan range. Really, Joe, more cargo scanning. It's time to get out of Dodge. We know the Estero was actively hacking most of these sites already, and this Imicus could be his friend. Don't overstay your welcome in any of these situations. If you feel any bit nervous, just log out. Okay, no more signatures to scan.
Warp drive active.
Counting his loot, Joe made 183 million ISK in just under 40 minutes. Not a bad run, over 275 million ISK per hour. Since Joe didn't die in this episode, I will be cutting out more of the boring parts in future videos. Until next time, happy hacking.